This video will demonstrate the removal of the tool head and disassembly in order to replace the nut on the tool post. The first step is to remove the belts, the drive belt and the flat belt, from underneath the machine. Here's the V drive belt and the flat belt that must be removed. Taking note of the belt position of the V belt for reinstallation to ensure the correct RPM. Loosen the clamp, slide the pulley forward, remove the belts. Next, open the collet plate, being cautious to not break the tools with the collet. Remove the adapter plate on the front of the casting. Remove the oiler cover. One spanner nut located in this area. Remove. As you loosen that, the tool head will begin to come forward. Use a spanner wrench. If you don't have a spanner wrench available, a brass punch with a small hammer works pretty well. Once the nut is free, use one hand to support the head and loosen the nut. It's also going to be necessary to remove the guide bushing so that you can get the set screw out of the way from the nut. Turn the set screw in until it's flush. Remove the nut. Gently work the tool head outward. And remove the belt. As the tool head comes out, you'll notice the thrust bearing race. Be careful not to drop that into the inside of the machine. And the tool head is removed. Notice the holes on the thrust bearing race. These holes must be located on the pins in the back of the casting upon reassembly. With the tool head out of the machine, these are the steps to disassemble the head in order to get at the nut on the back of the tool post. First step is remove the outer race and bearing. Now is a good time to inspect the bearing and races for any wear. These are in good shape. Using a small piece of plastic PVC or something similar, depress the sliding sleeve to expose a slotted screw in both sides of the head. One located here and one located here. Once both screws are removed, the sliding sleeve should be able to be removed from the back of the head. Don't be concerned about the screws falling down inside the head at this point. We'll be able to get them out prior to reassembly. Note the serial number marked on the head and also marked on the cone. On reassembly, you want to make sure the serial numbers are in line with one another to get the cone in the correct position. Remove the cone and the two springs that are located on the pins inside. Once the sleeve is removed, remove the 4 socket cap screws on the back of the housing. Once the screws are removed, separate the two halves. And it's sometimes necessary to use a small soft mallet to separate. As the head begins to separate the two halves, use small screwdrivers to gently pry until the rear part can be removed. And here are the two slotted screws that were removed from the sliding sleeve. In the rear part of the housing, there are two bearings that support the rear of the posts. This is a very fragile component of the tool head, so you must be extremely cautious when reassembling to not force the head together and risk breaking this casting. The next step will be to remove this sleeve from the tool post, and it usually can be removed quite easily by just prying upward with a flat screwdriver, being careful to not damage the sleeve. Next would be to remove the 11mm nut. On the ESCO D2, each tool post is retained by an 11mm nut. However, one is left-hand thread, one is right-hand thread. Tool 1 is a left-hand thread, and an easy way to remember is on the tool 1 there will be an L indicating left-hand thread for the nut. On tool 2, an R indicating right-hand thread. We're removing tool 1. This video. And there's the nut.